Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 Pro AI match. Almost lost it, seeing that whalemean has already started with the trash talk, saying your dog water, which is personally one of my favorite BMs. Anyway, we've got two bots taking each other on today. It's going to be a Terran, already starting with the BM whalemean, taking on Xena bot, a Protoss bot, which I always love to see. And so a good old TVP, but more importantly, a bot versus bot match on the map Ancient Cistern. And this one, like most of the replays I cast, was a bot author recommended one, so we know it's going to be a good one, and that generally holds pretty darn true. Now let's make sure we got the music going, and thanks so much to everyone for tuning in today. If you guys do enjoy these videos, take a look at that like button, see how many likes there are on it right now, and then go on, add one more. And while you're down there, leave a comment that says more bots to help with the YouTube bot, the YouTube algorithm. Join the Discord. Consider becoming a YouTube member. You can press that join button to check out the perks and whatnot. And yeah, subscribe if you aren't. You guys have really been enjoying these videos, and I certainly enjoy doing them. We have a second SCV down here. I can only assume this is to build a bunker, right? Or just to prevent any probe harassment or something. Anyway, lots of probe scouting going down from Xena as we actually take a look at its vision. It's really checked around the map. It's now coming on into the natural base. Sees the natural. It's got a zealot on the way already. Dealing with the SCV. It's actually got a second zealot on the way already, pardon me. In theory, a zealot should never catch an SCV until charges up. So this boy should be safe, but you never know. He might just really want to get that scout up. Probes now transferring down to that natural base. Very nicely timed. Just getting there right as that nexus finishes up. And look at that behavior even. The probe just hugging the nexus because it had a mineral. Okay, the Reaper working away on some of these units. Gets itself into a nasty corner and actually gets picked off right away. The building placement of Xena really messed with whalemean's control there. Now, yeah, so that's not a great start for whalemean. Scouting is important in bot versus bot matches, but I don't think it's quite as important in a human versus human match in the early game, or more heading towards the mid game, I suppose. Now, we've got an interesting build from whalemean. I love to see it. Hellions. Hellions are darn good against Protoss. If you're a Terran player and you run 4 Hellions into your opponent's natural or into their main base, just distracting them with something else, like, you can kill a lot of probes in a short amount of time. And that's where this Terran aggression really gets its strength. We see a Banshee on the way now for whalemean 2. Hellions now going to be crossing the map. So 4 of them in total. What do we got to defend? 3 Stalkers is generally enough to shut this down. Now, it's all going to depend on the control, of course. 2 Hellions in, the 3rd in. They're a little bit disjointed, which is not good. We'll see they're targeting as well on these probes. Of course, AI splits are a thing. So whalemean shouldn't lose too many workers. And yeah, those Hellions did not get that much damage done. 4 probes is not enough for 4 Hellions. You generally want to get, like, I don't know, 8 is a good number. 6 is alright. That sort of thing. We've now got a Robo on the way for Xena, followed up by a 3rd Nexus. Or actually, the Robo's following up the 3rd Nexus. It's a very quick 3rd for the Protoss bot. And while whalemean has been going for its own natural base, it has not saturated with SCVs as much. So it's got a 3rd CC on the way, but it's drastically behind on the worker count. Of course, mules can help overcome some of that, but I think whalemean is really going to need to get some damage done with this Banshee. Otherwise, it could be regretting that early game BM. Now let's take a look here. In comes whalemean. Invisible attack suspected. Interesting. I'm not sure what exactly that's for, whether that's just to say, hey, it's got a robo bay, so maybe the Banshee could be in trouble, change its behavior. Anyway, the Banshee is starting to get some kills. Already got 4 kills, denying a lot of mining time. There's an observer out now, decently timed, so Xena not going to take too much damage from that, but the Banshee now goes towards the natural. Observer and the Stalkers have got to follow this, and that is one of the hardest things to program in StarCraft 2. Program how to deal with cloaked harassment units. It's just got to be a nightmare as a bot author, because you got to tie it into all your other unit management. You got to make sure that the Observer follows it, but then it doesn't just go back and forth between targets. Cannons are an easier solution, so we do see Xena getting up a cannon in each mineral line. I love to see it. Same goes for human play, same goes for bot play. That's a good idea. We've also got whalemean going into this sort of mech style, as it's just got up 1 factory, now getting up a 2nd. Getting out Magfield Accelerator, no, Infernal Pre-Igniter, and Banshee Speed, pardon me. Okay, and Immortal's now on the way for Xena. This Banshee still harassing around. Or, pardon me, is this a different Banshee? Yeah, this has got to be a different Banshee. Where's the first one? Back at home, I believe it's been getting repaired. So, still a little bit of harassment going on, but all in all, Xena's economy is still pretty decent. Still pretty darn good, actually. I'll go a step further with that, as it's ahead 46 SCV to 65 probes, so pretty darn good for the Protoss. And this is the kind of thing that Terrans will do. They'll be like, oh man, mech just sucks. It's like, no, you just didn't get enough harassment damage done. But, I mean, I do agree personally that mech sucks, so I think whalemean is picking a risky strategy. Of course, it's all different when it comes to bot versus bot. As, or more specifically, mech sucks in PvP. And mech really sucks in PvP if you're playing behind 20 workers, behind a base, that sort of thing. So whalemean, I think, is going to have a very tough time this game. Of course, build up a lot of tanks. You never know how any engagement could go. These bot versus bot games are never over until they're over. And yeah, let's take a look here. We have got a Banshee shooting away at this assimilator. Battery is healing it up. Some very fast micro with that Banshee speed, so whalemean trying to make use of that. And now let's see, in comes this Banshee. Gonna be flying just right on home now that its cloaks ran out. We've got whalemean just situated at its 3rd base, building tanks, building Hellions. Curious to see if we'll see a 4th base going up soon or not. I mean, we've already got a 5th base going up for Xena, which is incredible. 2 Nexus building at once is a pretty big flex, and Hellions are going for some harassment here. They're not getting too much damage done, however. They did deny some mining time, but all in all, it's just 16, 17 probes going down as this Banshee does chase down a few more. But that's well within the realm of acceptability. When you're a Protoss player, and you're producing probes, you got 4 Nexus, and you can Chrono Boost them out too. I'm not actually sure if Xena does Chrono Boost out as Nexus. It's using a lot on its Forge, which is good to see. But, you do need to get quite a few worker kills to destabilize the Protoss economy if the Protoss has constant probe replacement. We see whalemean actually using its scans, interestingly enough, just trying to get information. I guess gauge its attack. It scanned the army perfectly. Sees 5 Immortals, some Stalkers, even going for yet another scan. Where was this one? I'm not too sure, but anyway. Yeah, Xena in a pretty good spot, however. I guess some damage has been done, as supplies are starting to even up. Maybe it's Neil's kicking in a little bit there. We've got a 4th base on the way for whalemean. Xena is investing into a lot of tech, getting up more gateways, getting up a robo bay. And it did lose a lot of mining time due to that Banshee, I suppose. So all in all, things are actually looking up for whalemean, and I mean, a lot of Terran tanks are going to be a difficult thing for a Protoss bot to deal with, so we'll see. I mean, completely depends, though, whether the tanks, for example, unsiege and then engagement happens, or Or what? Now we've got a lot of these immortals, all the stalkers, the zealots. There's blink on the stalkers. There's no charge for the zealots, but if Xena attacks on in towards this third, it's going to be very risky, and some of its units are being dragged on in there. I think it's really got to respect these tanks, but it's not. The bot has taken the bait and is going on in. We see a scan go down too. The immortals are stepping forward, trying to target the tanks, but they're just running into the Hellbats, running into the Marines, and all of a sudden Xena just threw a, oh my gosh, these bot insults are so on point. Xena saying that didn't work, whalemean saying better just GG. Yeah, if you do that, I think you might as well just GG. However, we'll see how well whalemean can attack, if there is going to be a counterattack. That was a big loss resource-wise for Xena, but if whalemean is going to give Xena enough time, or if whalemean moves out and say its tanks aren't sieged, there's always a chance. We also see triple immortal production off the economy of Xena, those 5 bases really showing their strength. And I think that that's how it's going to be. If whalemean eventually moves out to attack, or if Xena goes in again, that's going to be a little rough. Banshee flies on in, going to be going for some harassment. A second Banshee as well. The unlimited control on the hyperflight rotors. The funny graphical glitch you get when you issue them too many commands and the little boosters kick on. Basically unlimited. Now we see Xena moving on in again. Oh gosh, no, not again, not again. The poor stalkers, they could try and blink, but you can't really blink against like 7 tank shells. And so those all got deleted. Xena, I think, might be saying that didn't work again in chat pretty soon. Colossus steps forward, interference matrix going on down. Some zealots are walking forward. I say walking, they're not charging. I think they got like a tank there, but that was not a good trade for the blue Protoss. All the while this harassment is still going on at the natural base. We may need to see a bit of attacking behavior updated for Xena. Or just, yeah, I'm not sure what else. Like, having charge would have been a good start. That's got to be an interesting thing about trying to program a bot. It's if, say for example, your bot has 2 attacks and they both fail. At what point do you say, okay, wait for my opponent's bot to attack? Or change up the strategies, but I don't know if whalemean is going to attack, because it's building a bunker in the middle of the map, building a turret. We've got a big-time turtle bot right now. +3 attack is on the way for Xena, but no armor upgrades yet. And oh my gosh, what is going on here? We've got a lot of the army for Xena glitching out. There we go. Now they're joining up. Immortals, Colossus, a big portion of that Protoss army. But, man, this is the news starting to tighten as whalemean is going for a bunker push across the map. It's still got 7 Marines to fill its bunkers, and it's actually making a couple more, funnily enough. But, yeah, bunker tank pushing, quite a lethal strategy here. And it's going to be a tough one for Xena to overcome, as, we've seen how the past few attacks have gone. These tanks are oh so strong, dealing oh so much damage. And they're going to have +2 attacks soon as well. Stalkers do elect to go on in. They do get one of the tanks. They get a second. This is a deep line for the Terran, however, as now the Stalkers have to go up this hill. And, oh, they're already so softened up. So those are all going to die. Still no charge. Charge is one of the best ways for Protoss to breach a siege tank. But a siege tank line, but we haven't seen that for the Protoss. Now, the Terran is pretty far extended here. It's not all of its army. So we do see the Protoss getting on top of this, getting a good engagement, actually. Now, the Terran still has a very, very high supply, however, with 5 battle cruisers in the sky. That's a big deal. They've grouped up. They're now coming to the front. There is a decent number of Stalkers. They do have +3 attack. Xena saying, you look busy. I'll come back later. I think that may be the right call for Xena. whalemean says, I am, thanks. Okay, these bot authors have got way too meta. One of those battle cruisers does go down to the Stalkers. That +3 attack really helping there, but I don't know if there's enough Stalker firepower to deal with the rest of these BCs. And Stalkers are going down. We see another Nexus going up for the Protoss, of course. As long as the Protoss has an economy, even if it keeps taking bad trades, this game will continue on. And when I say bad trades, it's 21,000 resources lost to 10,000. That is not where Protoss usually wants to be. The Banshee's still getting some harassment done. The response from Xena for this hasn't been perfect. This is the time that I think you might even consider adding a Phoenix into your... just a single Phoenix as one of your defense mechanisms. Now, let's take a look here. We have got... yeah, the Terran bot pushing on in, the Protoss bot down on supply. Now defending, so it's got a battery to fall back to. Colossus gets Yamato Cannon, Immortal gets Yamato Cannon, the battery's out of juice. There is no battery overcharge. Stalkers trying to deal with these BCs, the injured ones just teleport on out of there. And all of a sudden the battle cruisers are becoming a bigger threat. The noose is tightening here for Xena. And what a noose it is with this slow tank push, building bunkers, turrets on the front, a lot of SCVs even coming to the front to repair. Usually the battle cruisers just go home, but these guys have brought their boys to back them up, and they are being repaired, and I don't think there's enough Protoss anti-air to deal with this, and I think we're hitting the tipping point as Xena is just now trying to remake probes it's lost. It's making really nothing else, and that is not looking too good. The bunkers are now separating the natural base and all the other bases, so it's looking pretty problematic for Xena, and I don't think there's going to be a comeback from this point. Now, that is barring a major glitch from whalemean or something. We see what looks to be the final attack from Xena moving forward. Unsure what to do, there's just too many units there, and whalemean devours pretty much the last of the Protoss army. And, yeah, I know I said bot games aren't over till they're over earlier. I think that might be a bit of an understatement. There's always a chance a bot game won't be over, but this one I think is looking pretty in the bag for whalemean, unless it crashes, which does happen sometimes. Very, very rarely these days. But, yeah, great game. Thanks to the bot authors for putting us forward. Hit that like button if you enjoy these, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe, hit that bell icon, join the Discord, consider becoming a YouTube member. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. As, well, we're gonna see. Maybe these 4 or 5 Zealots and 4 Stalkers can do it. whalemean now saying easy. Just taking the BM to a disgraceful level. These Banshees have been doing work all game. 31 kills on one, 22 on the other. Pretty much all probes. And the main base got bunkers and turrets in it. That's no good. That won't do. Not at all.